Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, I hope you're all well. So, this video is brought to you in association with Peavey Amplification, and in this video we are looking at the Peavey Invective MH. So this amplifier was announced last year at 2019 NAMM, and if you know anything about Peavey Invective, you'll know it's Misha's signature amp. That is Misha Mansour from Periphery, and he brought out the Peavey Invective 120, which I've done a video of, link in the description box, did that with Joss. And that was a beast amplifier, 120 watts. It's kind of Misha's ideal sort of 5150 inspired high gain modern behemoth of just intensity. It's got gate, it's got boosts, it's got 3 channels, it's got 9-volt power supply built into it, it's got all sorts of stuff, a couple of effects loops, MIDI controllable. But anyway, in this video we're looking at this absolutely beautifully cute little Invective MH, which stands for mini head, I'm assuming. So you can see on the close-ups just how small this thing is. I'll put something next to it for scale purposes so you can really see just how little this thing is. But it's got 2 EL84s in it, and it's 20 watts, but you can switch it down to 5 and then down to 1 watt, so that's really cool. It's great for bedroom rehearsing and just having a little amplifier that's all tube at home that's not going to annoy the neighbors. They actually fit loads of features into this amplifier. So let's start on the front panel. You've basically got a clean and an overdrive channel with a few switches, which Misha wanted to bring over from the bigger version of the Invective because he felt they were the most important features of the Invective to him. So you can see on the close-up now, but we've basically got a clean channel with gain, lows and highs. And the gain also acts as volume for this channel. So you'll be running the gain to get the desired level of volume out of it. And then we've got a lead channel with pre-gain, which is of course your overdrive. You got low, mid and high. Then you've got post-gain, which is the sort of master volume for that channel. And then you've got a master section with resonance and presence, which is great considering it's such a small head. Misha obviously wanted to have those controls available on this amplifier. And then obviously you've got your standby and your power. Now there are 4 little switches which really make this tiny little head even more impressive in terms of feature set because, well, firstly you've got your channel select, but then you've got a built-in gate which has come from the Invective. Then you've got a tight switch which I believe has been designed to be the kind of lower gain sound for the lead channel because they couldn't bring over the sort of crunch channel as well as the clean and lead on this mini head. So if you hit the tight switch in, it's a reduction in gain. It's a little more old school sort of sounding gain stage. So I believe that's sort of a crunch channel as it were. But you can run the gain up to get it to sound really thick and powerful. And then you've got the boost. Now the boost is designed to be like a tube screamer in front of a high gain head to do the kind of progressive metal thing. Now Misha is, I guess the theory here was that he didn't feel that you needed to put any pedals in front of this thing, just use all the tones built into it. So the idea of having the boost there is that you can get tighter, more aggressive sounds, even for leads as well, in sort of Misha's favorite preset place for his boost. That about covers the front panel, aside from the fact that it looks awesome with the little blue LEDs that shine through, and it just looks like a mini version. It's really cute. Really cute. If I had the bigger one here, because I actually lent it to Joss, he's got it currently, I would have put it on top, but I don't have it currently. Now where this amplifier really does shine in terms of feature set is on the back panel, because aside from your obvious like power and impedance, which you can switch between 16 and 8, you've got your little 3-way switch for 20 watts, 5 watts and 1 watt, but then we've got MSDI, which is a mic simulated direct interface. So it's an XLR out with a built-in speaker sim. You've got headphone out, and then you can also shut off the cab out of the speaker out of this head, so you can just have silent recording at home, meaning you don't have to have it coming out of a speaker and deafen everyone if you want to run it at the 20 watt mode and get a bit more out of the power section. There's a ground lift, and then you've got an effects loop, and then you've also got a foot switch in and out that you can control the gate, the boost, the channel and the tightness. And then on the far right, we've actually got a USB out, which means you can run this as a recording interface. So you could plug this straight into your DAW via USB. It would recognize it as an interface and let you record straight into any recording software you've got using the features of the amp, which is fantastic. I think it's fair to say that in something so small, you've got a lot of options, not only to get the sort of tones that you're after, bearing in mind this is aimed at those that like progressive metal and modern kind of high gain and clean tones. Not for anybody that's into sort of old school rock or any kind of classic stuff. This is modern. But if you're into that sound, it's a great option because it's an all tube head, 20 watts, so it's going to keep up with the drum kit. But then obviously you've got things that are really set up for home recording, like your silence recording out, XLR, and then you've obviously got your interface, your recording out as well for USB. And the other cool thing is that in terms of price, it's about £700 in the UK, which, considering what's in there for an old tube head, it's really not too bad value for money. But anyway, I've talked about it enough. I've given you all the features. We also know it's very cute to look at, but how does it sound? So I've got a few guitars lined up. We're going to try it with a baritone and sort of a drop C guitar, and let's just see how it sounds. Okay, I've dialed in what I would consider to be my kind of high gain rhythm tone. Got a bit of reverb and delay as well. We'll just mess around with this, see how it sounds. here's a good example of how the boost can clean up some chords. So let me just play a couple for a sec. Now if I throw the boost in, take it back out. Back in again real quick. Because it tightens up the low end and it boosts the mids, you just get a little bit more chord definition. It's relatively subtle, but you know, it's there. So that's a really useful feature, having that on the gain channel, just to switch in and out or have it on the foot switch. Gain channel is super girthy. It's pure 5150 vibes, but it's a little more grunty, a little more sort of growly. But if you throw the boost in, you can hear there's quite a bit of hiss. Throw the gate in, it reduces it, and it tightens everything up. So here's a quick test with the gate. I came up with something suitably gatey. That was my gate song, completely made up, but yeah, it kind of demonstrated it. Particularly, get really percussive with it. And also for that really palm muted sort of tappy chug thing. It definitely does it. It definitely has that vibe. But then if you want that girthy 5150, classic 5150 thing, it's got it. So I do like the way you can get that girthy 5150 tone, but then you can tighten it right up, again, using the gate. I'm not really a gate user, but it's nice to have it there. But the boost is really cool, because again, having that thicker tone, and then just being able to throw that in, is really, really handy. let's try the tight switch. I want to see what kind of gain reduction we've got going on. So this is the lead channel without the boost. And now tight switch. So it's still a gain channel, it's still a lead channel, but you can back it off a bit more. It becomes like a thick crunch channel, which I think is good for rhythms. So for me so far, it sounds like the Invective. It's got that same grunty growl when you dig in, when you put the boost in, and you boost the gain and you give it some. It definitely has that. And the leads are so silky smooth. Like, there is so much saturation and compression and support for the leads that it really, really helps. I really like the lead channel. For me, I think the tight switch could be labeled differently. I don't think it's helpful it being called tight, because for me that means doing what a boost does, tighten up the low end, give you a bit more mid-range, so, you know, but that's what the boost does, whereas tight really changes it to a lower gain version of the channel, more beefy. If anything, I would be calling it like a crunch switch or something like that, or like gain structure or whatever you want to call it. But overall, I think it's a great sounding channel. I think there's a lot of gain on tap, but the EQ is very powerful. For example, check this out. So now I'm going to mess with the bass, middle and treble. So you've got a super powerful EQ, and that's even before I've touched the resonance and presence. So it's a pretty powerful EQ, as you can hear, basically giving you a lot of tone shaping tools there between the 3-band EQ and then the resonance and presence in the master section. So yeah, I was able to find the kind of heavy metal kind of tone that I'd like out of this amp. So yeah, digging this channel, digging this amplifier. Okay, let's check out the clean channel. I've got a bit of reverb and delay from aux. Now, there is no volume, as I said. The gain works as both the gain and the volume. You've got lows and highs. Now, rather than being it bass and treble, I think it's a case of it being like the kind of low end of the frequency spectrum and the high end, so you're getting some high mids in the highs, a little bit of presence, all the presence and stuff, and in the low end you're getting the girth as well as the sort of lower frequencies. So I've boosted the highs quite a bit for the sort of sound that I wanted, but this is what we've got full humbucking. So even with a high output humbucker like that and the gain's at halfway, it sounds really nice. If I back off the gain a bit, we start to lose that power. So I'm going to put the gain back to halfway, boost the lows a touch. But if I move to one of my split coil tones now, so one thing that the Invective 120 boasted was a great, powerful, supported clean channel for modern progressive cleans, and that chime, and this certainly has it. I am boosting the highs, as I said, quite a bit, and the presence is up quite a lot to get that kind of chime, but with this particular guitar, that is, you know. It's a really nice sounding clean. Again, working in those in-between positions. Neck humbucker. Both humbuckers together. I think I prefer position 2. Honestly, I'm really surprised with that clean. I knew that the Invective 120 had a great clean, but that's because it's, you know, running 4 6L6s. This is 2 L84s, and, you know, it's kind of not really aimed for the kind of clean player, as it were. I know obviously clean playing is, you know, in the progressive metal world, but It's always usually really compressed and EQ'd and full of reverb and delay. But this sounds great. It really does. Having just the two controls, the gain, the lows and highs, you know, admittedly the highs are being boosted to hell, but it's really nice. Okay then, well there is a look at the Invective MH from Peavey and Misha Mansour. Actually, really enjoy this little thing. It's very cute looking, but it does not sound that cute. It sounds absolutely ferocious with all that gain in there. The lead channel, really shapeable. I really enjoy that. You know, caveat to this whole video, that it is a modern amplifier, so don't, you know, if you're into your cleaner or bluesy or more traditional or hard rock or whatever other tones other than progressive metal, then really, you know, I would say that it's not really aimed at anything outside of that world. I think this sounds great for the money. For an amplifier like this is a budget tube amplifier, you know, it's £700, which obviously £700 isn't a small amount of money, but in the world of tube amps, that is, you know, budget, because tube amps are expensive, not least ones that are filled with all these different features in it, with all the, you know, mic outs and all that kind of stuff, and the boosts and gates and everything. You know, for the money it's good, but I would say that, like, you know, if you've got a 5150 or you've got the Invective or you've got anything that's, you know, like that way out, then I would say, you know, hold on to that. This is great if you've not got a valve amp. It's a great modern entry-level valve amp. You know, the Invective 120 sounds different because obviously that's 4 6L6s. Well, it's 120 watts, so it's got a different transformer, different power section. All of that makes a huge difference to the sound. So if you're a young guitarist or someone on a budget and you're looking for something that can handle, you know, home recording, use it as an interface, have a couple of channels, lots of tone shaping ability, this is a great option for that, and I don't think it's unfairly priced for what you get. Well, that about covers it for the Invective MH. A little beast, I have to say. I'm quite impressed. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you've got one or you've tried it or you've got any thoughts and opinions on it. But yeah, thank you Misha for getting in touch, and thank you to Peavey for sending it over. Like, subscribe and share. I'll link this in the description box. But until next time, I've been Rabea, and I'll see you all very soon.